Good afternoon. It's Dave, the collectible connoisseur. Wanted to show off a few cards and just chat a little bit about authenticity of autographs and memorabilia. One of the themes of my collection are autograph cards of Major League Baseball players who grew up in the greater Cincinnati area. I just kind of have an affinity for those folks. I grew up in the greater Cincinnati area. I know their neighborhoods, their high schools. It feels like, local boy makes good, and that's why I like to collect their autograph cards. So let's dive in, and then, we'll kind of chat it up as we go. This is a 1988 scorecard, autographed Richard Dotson. Dotson was a very kind of solid, reliable starting pitcher. Had about a dozen-year major league career. You'll notice this is an aftermarket auto added to this card. Typically, when I will look to purchase an aftermarket auto, I will purchase it from or already authenticated by a reputable autograph authenticator, someone like PSA DNA or Beckett Authentication Services or SGC or JSA, even James Spence Authentication. This one, let me do this off camera so I can kind of protect the innocent, if you will. Have my names over. This one just came with a personal certificate of authenticity. And, I have my doubts on this kind of thing. Number one, this card itself is worth, maybe 10 cents. There isn't a huge market for Richard Dotson cards. And he was a pretty, kind of very, very good, but middle of the road type of baseball player. And then number two, there's not a lot of market for autographs of Richard Dotson cards. So it's hard for me to kind of fill my collection, kind of chase my theme down for a guy like Dotson. So from time to time, if the autograph looks decent enough, I will buy a non-authenticated card. The real risk, the card itself, even autographed, isn't very expensive. Maybe, $2, $3, $4, something like that. The real risk, obviously, is Dotson didn't find it or didn't sign it. Now, that certificate of authenticity guarantees me that, the fellow who sold me the card will reimburse my $3 if it proves not to be authentic. I mean, it's a great gig for him. He buys a 10-cent card, scribbles on it, sells it, marks it up and sells it for $3. I mean, he can have that thing hang around forever on eBay or his own website until someone like me kind of comes rambling along and what's his downside risk? He just says, oh, well, I didn't know it wasn't authentic. I thought it was. So anyway, I prefer my cards authenticated, like this 1997 Leaf. This is authenticated by the card issuer. This is Chris Hook. By the way, my guy Richard Dotson, Anderson High School grad. Chris Hook, Lloyd High School grad, Erlanger, Kentucky. Just on the other side of the Ohio River from Cincinnati. It's still considered the greater Cincinnati area. Hook had about maybe a 2-3 year career pitching in the major leagues, but I've got an autographed card. Adam Engel. This is a 2016 Bowman Chrome autograph card. Again, here authenticated by the issuer, Bowman. A little more skin in the game. If Bowman it's not out of the realm of possibility, by the way. It's been either suspected or found out that some players will employ friends or maybe just engage friends and family to sign cards for them. Slide them a few bucks and, they don't have to deal with the hassle. Or, it's been proven, I think Dak Prescott, the Cowboys quarterback, used some sort of a, writing machine to kind of automatically autograph a number of cards that he was obligated to do. So, just because it's the autograph is certified by the issuer, by the card issuer, doesn't always mean it's authentic, but, the card issuer has a lot more skin in the game than some guy. So if the card issuer's autographs are found to be inauthentic, well, it calls into question a lot of what they did. So Bowman Chrome, Adam Engel. Engel grew up in Loveland, Ohio. Here's maybe a stretching of the theme. So again, players who grew up in the greater Cincinnati area, who kind of ran around the neighborhoods that I ran around. Well, Adam Eaton didn't quite grow up in the greater Cincinnati area, but he went to the University of Miami. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. University of Miami is in Florida. Miami University is in Oxford, Ohio, about 20 miles northeast of Cincinnati. 30 miles northeast of Cincinnati. My wife went there, and certainly I have run around Miami University's campus. By the way, Miami University was a school before Florida was even a state. Miami University is the original Miami. And Adam Eaton had a nice big league career. Currently not with a team, but not officially retired yet. But he played for the Diamondbacks, the Nationals, the White Sox, and I think he had a cup of coffee with the Angels just last year. Miami University grad. No little show off of my autographed Cincinnati boys would be complete without an Andrew Benintendi card. Benintendi went to Madeira High School. Go Mustangs. This is a 2021 Topps Museum collection. Benintendi, autograph plus 2 swatches of jersey and bat relic. And I want to talk about relics in addition to the certified autographs in just a moment. This is another non-certified autograph, but really one of my favorite players from the era, Bill Doran went to Mount Healthy High School in the greater Cincinnati area. Played a number of years for the Houston Astros, and then the Reds traded for him midseason when they were in their 1990 World Series run. And he hung around with the Reds for a couple years beyond that, but really just a good, solid ball players type of ball player, second baseman. And again, I take this off the camera for a moment, I don't want to call into question anyone's credibility. I bought the card, by the way, and I guess I shouldn't show that at all because it says the name a couple times over, but it's guaranteed by some guy, and I'm sure that guy is reputable, but I would rather have a bigger name behind it. No offense to that guy. Bigger name like Topps, who is the issuer of this 2015 Josh Harrison card, serial numbered 194 of 299. Some of the previous cards were serial numbered too. I didn't mention it. Josh Harrison is a current Major League Baseball player. Started with the Pirates, has played for the Nationals and the White Sox. I think he's currently in Oakland A. And he is a graduate of Princeton High School. And he also attended University of Cincinnati. Just like our guy Adam Eaton, Ian Happ's a little bit of a exception to my rule about having grown up in the greater Cincinnati area. He grew up elsewhere in Ohio, but played at the University of Cincinnati. Go Bearcats. And this is a 2018 Topps Tier 1, number 270. Ian Happ card. Of course, Happ still plays for the Chicago Cubs. And every time he comes to town, by the way, he just destroys Cincinnati pitching. Ian Happ is a Reds killer. This is Miller Huggins on a 2018 Panini National Treasures card, numbered to 99. Obviously, you see that there is no autograph here. Well, Miller Huggins grew up in the greater Cincinnati area, and in all the biographies or web pages I've read about him, Doesn't say exactly where he went to kind of high school or secondary school, but he did go to the University of Cincinnati. I mean, he grew up in Cincinnati, and then he did attend the University of Cincinnati and actually graduated with a law degree. Huggins was a player at the turn of the century, and not the 21st century. I'm talking about the 20th century. He broke into the big leagues with the Cincinnati Reds in 1904. Little guy. He was actually different sources will give different heights. He was somewhere between 5'2" and 5'6". Weighed somewhere between 125 and 145 or 55, I think was the heaviest I saw him. But a rangy second baseman who played 13 or 14 big league seasons, but then was most notable as a manager in the major leagues. Oh, by the way, he went from the Cincinnati Reds to the St. Louis Cardinals, where he was the direct predecessor to Rogers Hornsby. He played second base, and the Cardinals had a kid coming up who looked pretty good and kind of edged Miller Huggins out of a job. And that's when Huggins turned to managing, managed the Cardinals for a season or two, and then was hired to manage the New York Yankees. Huggins was the manager, or became the manager in the mid-1920s of a Yankees team that boasted the likes of Babe Ruth. Huggins was the one who took Wally Pipp out of the lineup and replaced him with Lou Gehrig. And then, of course, Gehrig never sat down until he had to. But here we have a bat relic on this card. And again, Huggins played at the turn of the 20th century, over 100 years before this card was made. How can Panini guarantee the chain of custody for a bat from, a decent but not great? I mean, Huggins was good, but he wasn't, he's not in the Hall of Fame as a player. He is as a manager. But how can they guarantee that a bat from over 100 years ago was a bat that was used by Miller Huggins? And, over the course of that time, who preserved this bat? Where did it go? Panini's got, reputational risk associated with this. If the memorabilia, I don't know how you would prove this memorabilia, this little chip of wood is not what they claim it is. Again, I don't know how they would prove that it is, given the time over which it would have had to have been preserved. It's a scam. Part of it is, hey, collect what you like and believe what you'd like to believe. It's not an expensive card. And if I could get an autograph of this guy, I'd kind of shuffle this card out of my collection and replace it with an autograph. But autographs from, over 100 years old ago are hard to come by as well. I follow up Miller Huggins with a guy that I have a lot less to talk about, DJ Boston. Again, a little bit of an exception to my rule, but kind of falls into that collect what you like, and he kind of fits. Never made it to the major leagues. Should have, could have, would have. Great Cincinnati ball-playing, baseball family. His older brother, Darryl Boston, had a very nice major league career. DJ Boston never cracked the majors, but he was in the minors. And here's a 1996 best autographed card. DJ Boston went to Woodward High School. And ending it with one last Woodward Bulldog, Leon the Bull Durham. Obviously, Bull Durham just kind of flows because he played in the same era in which that movie was released. Durham was a power-hitting first baseman, most notably for the Cubs. Played a season or two on the front side of his career with the Cardinals, and a season at the very end of his career, I remember it, 1988, with the Cincinnati Reds. This is a, this is a 2013 Panini Hometown Heroes. And since Panini doesn't have Major League licensed, obviously there's no team insignia or logo, but that's Cub Blue. That's it. So thanks for spending 15 minutes with me. Have a good day.